Okay, so I made the mistake of not scheduling the show. I've been thinking about it all day long, and it was not scheduled to appear. So we're going to wait for a little while before we get started on this to be sure everyone who wants to be here is. Just give it a few minutes. Meantime, I will get my stuff all focused up and working right. I don't know what I was thinking, or I wasn't thinking. That might be it. But I'm sure soon enough we'll get some people in here. There's Jim Fletcher. Yeah, I made the mistake of not scheduling. Whoops. So we are here, though, ready to go. Yes, Josie and you are both in on this. Is she watching today? Perhaps, maybe. There's Cat Morgan Dollar, Mickey Fur. Good evening, gentlemen. We are here for the show. And I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes to be sure that we start getting an inflow of people, because I made the mistake of not scheduling this ahead. Now I know why Jesse sent me a message just a few minutes ago asking if there was still going to be a show. He couldn't find it, for good reason. Hello, Kevin. Frostbite. Good evening, good evening. Unfortunately, Josie is not going to be watching live. That's fine. If she gets the game, you can play it. We are going to be doing the game. I have 4 chips here. The game is as such. I draw your name after the game chip, and you get to guess whether or not the next coin in the box is going to be higher in numbered year or lower in numbered year. For instance, is that 1980 is higher than 1979. 1980 is lower than 1981. You get to play until you guess wrong. When you guess wrong, you get that coin, and the game is over. Ties are given to the player. So if you guess 1995 and you get 1995 and you say higher and it's a 1995, you get it and you get another chance. 2004, 2005 have 2 different issues. We're going by year only. It's not whether or not it's a piece or a keelboat, doesn't matter. 2004 and 2005 have 2 different issues, and they are considered tied up. Brian, hello, good evening, sir. Let's see. I don't guess I really have anything else to add and offer today. We've got 4 bonus chips today. Draw a bonus chip draw a bonus chip, then draw your name. And when I draw the bonus chip and then draw your name, you get a free coin. You get the coin that you were going to get plus the next one in the box. We have a bag full tonight. We have a lot of people. Hello, Jesse. I didn't realize that we were talking about you not being able to find the stream. I didn't realize it until I actually came in to start the stream that I hadn't ever scheduled it. And that's why you couldn't find it. Kevin Dobbs, not too late to get in. Do you want your limit of 10? Hang on, let me get my sheet out. I will have to send you an invoice for this afterwards. Power Stroke Syndicate. This is what happens. Registered users for copper coins. You can do that for free, by the way. Registered users get to buy chips. Your chips cost a certain amount. These are Kevin's chips. I'm just getting ready to add them to the bag with everybody else's. I draw chips. When your name comes out, you get the next coin in the box. When I draw a special black label chip, it will have some other thing on it, like a game or a bonus or a $10 certificate. And then I will explain that as we get to it. Techstar, did you happen to want in, or did you want to pass this time? I do not have you in this. I saw your chips today, and I thought he may have tried to get in, but he didn't. So I don't know if you want in or not, but I can put you in right now if you want in. You'll get used to it, Power Stroke Syndicate, as we move along in the game. And we do have enough people in the audience currently to get started. For those who do not or are not here and get drawn for the game, I will play the game for you based on the typical odds. That would be from 2015 back to 1955. We're talking about 60 years. So 2015 minus 30 of those 60 years is 1985. So 1985 is the break point. Anything I draw previous to 1985, I will have to say higher. Anything after 1985, I'll have to say lower. And we'll just work it from there. All right. Okay, I will get you in, Techstar. I don't know why you weren't in on the sheet. But I will get you in, and if need be, I'll send you another invoice. Here's Techstar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 more is 10. I get Techstar mixed into the bag. Everybody else, this is a very full bag. Yes, Son of a Silver Stacker, that's basically exactly what it is. We pull a name, and I'll do it right now. Show you how it works. I pull a name, and I get Sissy. Sissy gets the first coin in this randomly sorted box, and it's a 1992 proof nickel. And these chips are $2 a piece. You'll find out why and the benefit that you get from it in just a few minutes when we draw one of the game chips or one of the special coins. 1974 for Jesse. Paul. Here's 1968 for Paul. 1968S. Let me get some more of these stuffers. I got to get some more of my box stuffers. Can't have stuff going all over the place. Got to stuff the box so things don't tend to want to crawl. There we go. All right, next up. Jesse, we're getting started here at 7 o'clock. We're going to be taking a break at 8 o'clock. There's a 2003 for Jesse. This show should probably last until about 9 o'clock, about 2 hours. Here's Doug. Doug Rizak gets 1999 proof. Now, most of these coins appear to have scratches or something like that. These coins are not scratched. These coins are simply shoveled around in a box a lot, and the holders got scratched. There's one for Jordan Nawab. Jordan, Parviz's grandson. Parviz is doing okay. Here's another one for Sissy. And Sissy this time, 1962. 1962 proof. And we move on. Next up, Carl. And Carl gets a 2008 proof. 2008. Hey, Cookie. Glad you got to be here. Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur comes up next. Mickey Fur gets, oh, nice. 1942S. 1942S. These are the only non-proof coins that are in this box, but we do have silver. And silver is always worth the effort. Mickey Fur gets that one. Nice silver coin. Nice uncirculated silver coin at that. Richard. Richard's up next. What do we get for Richard? How about a 2005? 2005. And this one is a Bison nickel. It's the Bison reverse. And there that is. Next up, Jesse. Jesse, I've run into 3 of yours so far. 1998. 1998 for Jesse. That's ridiculous. These things are very well mixed. I mean, I put them out on a blanket and mixed them all totally up before I put them in here. Hello, Papa York. And I still end up getting dupes pulled out, right? Malcolm. Malcolm, how about a 1959 for Malcolm? Going kind of quick. I'll try to get through all these in 2 hours. Patreus, 1976. 1976 for Patreus. Let's see. Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams gets a 1962 proof. This one's been around for a long time in this holder. It has an envelope, or it might be. Yeah, it is an envelope, but they didn't use the envelope. Or did they? No. Okay. Well, that's what it is. Mr. Adams gets a 1962. Here we go with Richard. He gets one like that, only it's a 1964. Now, folks, these haven't been checked for double dies. They haven't been checked for errors or any other struck throughs or anything like that. We go through lots of proof coins here. There's Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur gets a 1964 for Mickey Fur. Next up, we have Kevin. And Kevin gets a 1964. Any of these could possibly be double dies. And now one for Malcolm. It's another 1964, and that one has cameo. 64 cameos are not highly common. Let's see what it has on the reverse. Still has a little bit of cameo. It's got some haze because of the PVC in the holder. That will come off. And so we have what could be a nice coin. Ho, sissy. There's Ronald. And one for Ronald. We have 1962. 1962 for Ronald. Magony. And Techstar. Techstar comes up next, and Techstar gets 1959. 1959. You guys want to make sure that you stick around because we could run into a game chip anytime. Marked Money Tech pulls out a 1970. Proof 1970. Next up, Parviz. Parviz gets 1959. 1959. Next up, Carl. Carl, what does Carl get? How about 1999? 1999? The final year before our first digit changed to a 2. Kelly Michaud. Remember when that Y2K thing came along in the computer world? Everybody was fearing the worst. 1961 for Kelly. 1961. A lot of things changed to 1901 or 1900. But for the most part, everything operated just fine. We didn't lose power grids. We didn't have nuclear missiles instantly and automatically shooting off because the date changed. Penny Horta got a 1968 there. Here's Paul Hampton. Paul with a 1960 proof. 1960. Let's see, what else do we run into here? How about Cookie? There we go. There's one for Cookie, 1987. That's a tougher date. Any of them in the late 80s are actually a little more tough to come by. You don't think so? Try finding a roll of 1987 proofs. 1961 is your mint year? No, 1961s are not uncommon. Kelly Ray now with a 1994. 1994. Now it's got just a little bit of purple haze on it. Let's see. What do we come up with next here? Crispy Mofo. Crispy gets a 1964. Is that a 64? It is a 64. Okay. I had a little bit of trouble reading the date on that one at first. I'm trying to be cool. I've got my glasses on top of my head and not in front of my eyeballs where they belong. Techstar. Techstar comes up next to 2013. 2013 proof nickel. 2013 is actually not that easy to come by. 2012 is a key date, believe it or not. Mix those things up a little bit better. This is a Barclay Bank bag, in case anybody was wondering. It's Barclay Bank. I don't know where it comes from. Marked Money Tech now with a Bison 2005. 2005 with the Bison reverse. Now, some of you make fun of the way I pronounced Bison, but it is actually supposed to be pronounced Bison, not Bison. I don't know exactly where I heard that, but I think I'm using a reputable source when it comes to the pronunciation of Bison as more of a Z sound than an S sound in the middle of the word. And no, it's not a buffalo. Here comes the game. The game is going to be for somebody who happens to want to win coins and win a lot of coins. Let me get back in here and drag a chip out for Cookie. Let's see. We're going to start this one with 1975. Now, is the next coin in the box, is it going to be higher than 1975 or lower than 1975? Cookie? Let Cookie catch up and get her comment in here. Higher than 75 or lower than 75? I don't know what an I means. L? Is that an L lower? The range 1955 to 2015. 1955 to 2013. And to remember that the most common ones in this box are going to be 1959 through 1964. However, there are all different dates in here. Your chances are only slightly higher at getting 1959 through 1964 than other years. Cookie says lower. And the next coin in the box is indeed lower. 1970. 1970. Now, how about the next coin? Is it higher or lower than 1970? Next coin in the box, and Cookie is going to go with... I can see it, so I know what it is. Long D. Yes, I know. We're facing the typical YouTube lag. Cookie says higher on this one. Guess what? It's higher. It's a year 2000. So, Cookie, next one, higher or lower than 2000? And remember also that if you happen to get the same year twice, you just get to play again, and the coin becomes yours. So ties go to the player. Next one, Cookie. She says lower, and this one is 1983. It is indeed low. That's actually an 85. That's not an 83. But even 85 is also lower. The holder says 83, but it's an 85. So that's a 1985. You get to play from there, higher or lower than 1985. A 3 and a 5 do look quite similar when you're talking about the flat top 3s that they put on Jefferson nickels. So I can understand how my guy who put this in the holder mistook this for a different date. Cookie says lower on the next one, and I'm going to tell her she's probably right without even looking. Yeah, 1969. 1969 the next one is. We're going to go with a higher or lower than 1969. Lower than 69, and the next one is wonk wonk 2003. But Cookie, you've done very well. On the one draw, you've pulled 6 coins. You got 6 coins out of there. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations. Thanks for playing, and we will move on. So the next one was a 2003, and that was not a winner. All right. That's how the game works. It's simply a matter of guessing higher or lower until you go bust, and when you go bust, we move on to the next. Ronald Magany. Ronald gets. Now, if you had guessed higher and saw that was a 2003, what would your next one be, Cookie? After a 2003, what would your next guess be? Considering they go up to 2015 down to 1955. And of course, the more modern dates are going to be a little more common. I just want to see where she would have gone had she made the proper decision this past time. It's probably a big sigh of relief. Well, this one is lower. It's 1994, so you would have gotten this one as well. But it's okay. We'll just keep going. You might get to play the game again. I've got 4 game chips in here. Here's one for Sureg. Sureg gets a 1992. 1992 for Sureg. And next up, Malcolm. Malcolm comes out with a 1999. 1999 for Malcolm. And next, Sureg. Sureg is going to get a, bam, 1944 silver. 1944 Philadelphia. There's a silver wartime nickel in uncirculated condition. Got nice luster on this one. Probably about a $10 to $12 item. And you got it for your $2 pull. There it is. Congratulations, Sureg. Next up, let's see if I can grab somebody out of the very back of the bag. Hey, look at that. We got a bonus chip. What the bonus chip means is when I draw your name, whose ever name it is, you get the next 2 coins. So there's Ant. Ant's going to get the next 2 coins in the box. And the next 2 coins are a 2000 and a 1994. So we got a 2000 and a 1994. That is not on the coin. That's actually on the holder. So here's Ant with his bonus. Nice, nice, nice. Next up, Ron Isaac. Ron Isaac, 1961. 1961. Next up. Oh, we got another bonus chip. Got another bonus, and this one will go to Ronald. Ronald gets a bonus. He's going to get a 2007 and a 1975. Took me a little bit to get that one out of there. 1975 S and a 2007 S. Congratulations to Ronald. And that's 2 out of 4 bonuses gone. These things spilling out of the bag. There we go. Kevin. Kevin up next with a 1975. 1975 S for Kevin. Only wondering, is Papa York still here? And is Power Stroke Syndicate still here? If either one of you are still here, I would encourage you to register with Copper Coins for future events. I'll get you on an email list for a reminder as to when they're coming up so that you can be there if you want to be. But the email address will be coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. Just send me an email. Give me your YouTube username, your real name, and your PayPal email address, the email address that you have registered so that you can receive invoices through PayPal, and I will get you registered. Ronald comes up next with a 2002. 2002. And son of a silver stacker, you are still registered with me. Even though it's been quite a while since you've been around, you are still registered. Sureg, you can attend any time you want. Sureg gets a 1970. The reveal sales, where I do reveal rolls, the reveal sale is on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The auction is at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And that is where we do, here's one for Josie. That is where we do these pulls. We sell these pulls at the end of the auction. These have a limit of 10 per person. I decided to throw the limit on there because, well, even with the limit, we still have over 300 chips to draw. So I don't want too many people to have too many chips, because then it just becomes a long, drawn-out process. But with the mint seal bag that I'll be opening probably tomorrow evening. No, I can't do it tomorrow evening. That was an announcement that I had to make. My stepson's birthday is tomorrow. We're going to be celebrating his birthday tomorrow evening. It's a big 3-0 for him. Here's 1964 for Mr. Boudreaux. So we're going to be going out to dinner tomorrow evening. And the 1959 mint seal bag will come up on Friday. Hey, looky there. We've got another game for someone to partake of here. Let's see who that someone is going to be. Taco John. Taco John, are you here by chance? I'll give you just a couple of minutes before I start playing the game on my own here. We get to start with a 2005 Ocean in View for Taco John. Taco John, Taco John, Taco John, are you here? If Taco John's not here, I will play the game for him. I know Jim's here. Don't mess around with Jim, right? Okay, I don't think Taco John is present. I will play the game for him, and I have to say lower than 2005. And the next one is 1969, to which I say higher. I say higher That's 2003. To which I answer lower again, and it's 2000. I also say lower on 2000. Turns out to be 1960. 1960, I say higher, and it's 1989. To that, I say lower, and it turns out to be 1961. To that, I have to say higher, and it's 1960. So we bust out right there from the 61 to 1960, but Taco John gets more than Cookie did. There's 3, 6, 7, 8 coins here for Taco John. I think I'll be happy with that. Now here in like 5 seconds, he's going to say, oh, I was here. I was just overeating tacos. But thanks for playing for me. All right. All right, there we go. All right, next up. Let's see what's next up here. Paul? If you just go with the odds, about half the time you're going to be right. That was a very much Yogi Berra statement. 1963 for Paul. And get a stuffer in here. Marked Money Tech. Marked Money Tech now pulls out a 1958. 1958 proof. Isn't that right? Congrats, Taco, for sure. I did pretty well for you. Here's one for Parviz. Parviz gets a 1962. 1962 proof. Moving right along. Wanda? Wanda. Wanda is not here. 1974. 1974 for Wanda. Next up, Mr. Boudreaux. How about a 1963 for Mr. Boudreaux? Next up, Jordan. Jordan gets a 1998. 1998 proof. All proofs in nickels were made in San Francisco from 1975 on. However, the ones previous to 1975... Actually, no, the proofs were made in San Francisco from 1968 on. However, the ones from previous to 1968, those were all made in Philadelphia. There's an ocean in view for Doug. Frosty's chips are on strike. Here's one for Crispy. I don't have Frosty here. Frosty's in the game. I just haven't seen his chip come up. Here's a 75 for Crispy. And, oh, looky there, Frosty. Frosty comes up, and Frosty gets a 1994. 1994S. Hello, Mr. Boudreaux. Let's see what's next. Ron Isaac. Ron? Jim, you haven't seen one of your chips yet? Ron gets a 1962. Let's see what comes up next here. Doug? 1983. Is it really an 83? It is really an 83. 83 for Doug. I guess some of the ones marked 83 are actually 85, which is a benefit, actually, because 85... There's Jim Fletcher. There you go, Jim. Jim picks up the last one here. And this is a different one. This is an SMS coin. It's 1966 special mint set. They made these in lieu of making proof coins that year. 1965 through 1967. All right. Here's Captain Morgendollar. Yours were hiding until you said something about it. And now they're not hiding. How about a 1975 to get you started? 1975. They like chilling in the bag. Is that what it is, Sissy? Here's another one for Jordan. Actually, this bag is just overstuffed. I mean, it's regurgitation stuffed. 1977 there for Jordan. Next up, Taco John. Taco John comes up again. And Taco John this time, Ocean in View. 2005 Ocean in View. That's that one right there. I should package the 04s and 05 reverse out so we can look at the pretty design and think about it. Techstar. Techstar comes up again here and gets a 1984. 1984S. Not common. Not really common. Here's one for Cookie. And Cookie this time. 1998. I think I did get at least one for Josie already. Don't remember what the year was, though. Here's Frostbite for you. And Frostbite, 1979. 1979 proof for Frostbite. See, now, Frosty, years are all coming out. Like boom, boom, boom. Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud, 1987. 1987 for Kelly. Shay Shay. Shay Shay now, 1983. Actually, this is just a smaller than normal bag. Typically, I have a larger bag than this. The mint-sized bag. This is more like a $25 bag instead of a $50 bag. And the chips barely fit. You needed the 84S? Awesome. Nice. Shay Shay. Shay Shay is up next. 1964. 1964 for Shay Shay. And next, Malcolm. Malcolm now with a 2004 piece metal. Nickel, 2004 piece. That's for Malcolm. Folks, none of these have been checked for die varieties, errors, or anything else. You might want to check them when you get them because you never know what comes in these. Cab Morgan. Cab Morgan Dollar gets 1994. 1994. Where is everybody tonight? We only got 20 people here. Carl. We've got 30 or more participating. Ocean in View for Carl. 2005. I reach in, I feel a chip, and it's that chip I'm going to grab and pull out no matter what the cost. Even if I have to stop the show to grab the chip. Here's a keelboat for Doug. And next up, Sureg. Sureg, 1960. 1960 proof for Sureg. There is some chance that you can get a duplicate or two in this, but I will make sure that if we get past duplicates into triplicates, I will start replacing coins for you rather than give you an entire sleeve full of 1960 proof nickels. You'll get at least a few different dates for sure. All right, that's 1981. It is a Type 1 for Born Rebel. Let's see, Ant 2242 now gets 2008 proof, 2008. And what's next for Crispy? Crispy, how about a 2004? 2004 proof. There we go. Now, Born Rebel comes up next. What does Born Rebel get? Ooh, nice. 1944 silver. 1944 Philadelphia silver. So that's a wartime nickel. Nice uncirculated coin for Born Rebel. She fills 49 of 50 states for us. She's from Alaska. Never had any. Well, we have had someone from Hawaii. We have, actually. 1969S for Jim Fletcher. 1969 for Jim Fletcher. There was a time quite a while back we had, Gosh, I can't remember the name now. Sissy was silver 1962 for Sissy. Help me out, folks. What was his name? Guy from... I know his real name. I just can't remember his handle. Something about silver. Crispy? 1962. It wasn't... Silver. Huh. I used to write his... it was a metallic compound. Cat Morgan, 2007. Silver nitrate. That's what it was. Silver nitrate. Something about silver nitrate. 2001 for Cookie. Isn't that what it was? Silver nitrate? No, don't get me lying. I haven't seen him in a long time. Sureg up next. 2005 Bison Nickel. 2005 Bison for Sureg. And next out, Ant 2242. 1992 for Ant. 1992. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was silver nitrate. Silver something. I'm thinking silver nitrate. Mickey Fur. About a 1980 with a little toning on it. That goes back to days before most can remember. Wanda. We probably have, I'm going to say 15 members. 15, 20 members left who were here way back in the beginning. 2004. Sissy's one of them. Jim Fletcher. Let's see. Taco John came on really early. Actually got a reply today on a post that I made from Steve Patat. He's not been around in a long time. Here's one for Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets a 1997, and this one is toned. This one's got color. You can see some of the color in here, even though my lighting is a little oddly reflective. You can see that the bust itself has like a purplish color, and then the background, the field, has more of a yellowish color. It's beautiful. Really nice looking coin there. Jim, you get a good one. There it is. All right, let's see. Mickey Fur back up again here. Mickey Fur this time with a 1984. 1984. Hey, Mark. Good evening, good sir. Here we go with Richard. That's right. He got a Tona. 1970S. 1970S. Yeah, Sissy, you were one of the first. I started doing the auction broadcasting on YouTube in May of 2019. Started that in May of 2019. I was selling on Facebook from 2016 up until May of 19. And then May of 19 was my first live broadcast. And that's right around the same time I started doing the reveals. We are currently up above number 520 on reveals. Crispy Mofo. 1961. And with you guys, I guess it's not really a stage fright, but it was kind of an anxiety. Yep, I did. It was an anxiety over doing things improperly or saying something wrong. That just bled away with time. It's like, yeah, they trust I'm good now. Here's 1973. 1973 for Sureg. Yep, that's right. What we did was we talked about them I talked about the coins. I put the coins up there, and then when the bidding started slowing down, I put a 1-minute timer on it. The 1-minute timer was to facilitate quicker bidding toward the end, if anybody was going to. Sometimes they did, sometimes they did not, but it was effective. 2006 for Kevin. I stopped doing it because of a number of field complaints about it. People didn't like the fact that there was a timer toward the end. They thought that I should allow the bidding to go on until the bidding stops. Techstar now with 1972. But yes, there was a 1-minute timer. You are correct. Here is Malcolm next. Malcolm's one of my real early comers too. 1967 SMS. Nice 1967 SMS. And in fact, you'll see his name in the chat as Malcolm's Coins. And on the chips, it's Malcolm M, because M is his last initial. He used to go by his first and last name. And he stopped doing that after a while. Yes, Whatnot is definitely timed. That's another thing. That's a good shift into Whatnot. I'm going to be providing everyone through an email the link that they can use to go join Whatnot and get that special $15 credit toward their first purchase. I'll be having an auction this next Wednesday on Whatnot. Going to push myself to do that. And here's Ron Isaac. We're going to do a relatively brief auction next Wednesday. And I'm going to give the platform a chance. But if you sign up as a new bidder with Whatnot, using my referral code, you'll get a $15 credit. That $15 credit can be used immediately upon purchasing any one of a number of different items. I am not going to give that coin out. Actually, Jesse, you can have this one, but that's not going to be your coin. It's got spots. There we go. There's 1961 for Jesse. Your first reveal was number 28. Wow. It's amazing. We're talking about what the first reveals were. And somebody mentioned a half roll. I remember that half roll. It was a half roll. It was 1946. I don't remember if it was a plain, a D, or an S. I just don't remember that. But I do remember the year was 1946. 1987 for Born Rebel. How do you get in on it, Mickey? We can get everybody involved in that. Josie, 1970. If you share your secret. So if I give you a referral code, you can use that referral code even if you're already a registered member. Patreus now, 1973. Does anyone have any of what old ones? And move this out of the way. Here's my next box. Next box. Okay. Jim Fletcher. Jim Fletcher with a 2000S. Okay. Appreciate that, Mickey. Next up, Born Rebel. Born Rebel, 1992. Oh, any of the early reveal coins. Show and tell time. Jesse, 2008. 2008. I did do some reveals that were like, I did an S-Mint bag reveal of AU S-Mint wheat cents. I did Oh, I did reveals of specific date circulated rolls and bags. The number that we're up to now, which is, I believe it's 523, 524. Here's Marked Money Tech with a very worn, yet somehow beautiful as worn chip with a 1975. That just shows veteran status right there. It's like when you have your camouflage uniform starts to fade. It just looks different. 1977 for Frostbite. And after I'd been in the military for 4, 5, 6 years, I didn't want them to fade. Because when they start fading, that means you have to replace them, and they weren't cheap. 1980 for Crispy. I'm sure they're more expensive now, but back then, I think it was like $22 for the pants and $18, $19 for the shirt. Oh, yeah. 28 was the 1999 S-Proof pull, for which we found a previously unknown double die reverse. Here's Richard Sappington gets a 1943 S. Silver nickel in uncirculated condition. Beautimus. Gets him some nice silver. Kevin. 1976 for Kevin. Wait a minute. Ah, okay. The BURL 0060, I do believe, means that was Jessica's invoice number. Here is 1960. 1960 for Paul. Next up, Carl. We're about 8 minutes away from going on a 10-minute break. 1994 for Carl. Cookie up next. Cookie with a 1989. 1989. This day is also something that tends to be a little difficult for me. Those of you who follow me on Facebook will know already that today marks the 28th anniversary of the Murrah Federal Building bombing in Oklahoma City. I was there when it happened. I got to experience the carnage that came out of that. And for that experience, I can never forgive those who created that event. 1975 for Mickey. 1975. But yeah, that was a very rough date. April 19th is always kind of a rough day for me. Jim Fletcher. Jim Fletcher gets a 1988. 1988. Okay. Yeah, my first experience with YouTube as auctions was in, I believe, May, after I moved to Lake Worth, which would be May of 19. Captain Morgan, 85 S for Captain Morgan, because I started in May, and in July I picked up a large hoard of Lincoln cent rolls. And then at the beginning of September, we moved to North Carolina. Penny Hoarder, it's a 1977. And then from there, I lived in Cary for about a year. And then from there, we moved to Smithfield, to the home that I currently live in. Jordan. And almost all of the shows since then have been broadcast from the studio in my home. 1977 for Jordan. Kelly Ray, 1975 for Kelly Ray. I'm just glad that they didn't have to launch a huge investigation to figure out who did it. That it was his own stupidity that got him caught so quickly. Taco John gets a 1958 proof. Next up, Cap Morgan. Cap Morgan gets a 1980 proof. 1980 for Cap Morgan. Next up, Carl. Let's see. Carl gets a 1972. 1972 for Carl. I took the day off work because I was supposed to test for Staff Sergeant the following day, and my test date was set as April 20th, although that didn't actually happen. Once the event occurred, they canceled testing, but I was supposed to test for Staff Sergeant on the 20th of April, and 1957 for Carl. I got up early that morning and started studying the books, and I had it was a nice day, so I had the sliding glass open in the back, and I could hear all the events outside. I lived about 5 miles away from where the bombing occurred. There's P. Adam for 2004. Techstar now will get a 2003. That's Techstar. And there's Taco John with a 2006. I heard the explosion, but it was kind of a muffled, distant type explosion. It sounded almost like a sonic boom or something, but I had this gut feeling I needed to turn the television on. When I turned it on, there was a live report. There's Kelly Ray on the news that they were talking about how the Murrah Federal Building downtown had probably experienced a gas leak catastrophe. That is a nice toner right there. That's beautiful color on that 83. And it took a while before they realized it was actually a vehicle explosion that caused all that. And I remember there was a scare that there was a second possible detonation to occur. They thought they'd found another bomb or something. And so you had rescuers backing away from rescuing people from the building. You had survivors that had run from the building running down the streets trying to get away from the building. Only half of it still existed at that point. There's Sissy with 2000. And I, needless to say, spent the remainder of that day glued to the television and waiting for a phone call. 1989 for Patrias. And when I went in to work the next day, it was the day I was supposed to test, so I didn't have any real duties that day because they had already called me off for the testing. Had a captain. I don't remember the captain's name now. It started with an M. He asked me if I could help with the detail downtown, and I said sure, whatever you need. And so I ended up getting assigned downtown for a few days to work in the crowd of rescuers trying to help pull people from the rubble of what was left of the building. That's one of those days that you can never forget. Parvis with a 1998. Can never forget. I remember that day better than I remember yesterday. It was 28 years ago. Patreus, 2008. 2008 proof for Patreus. And we're going to stop after this one right here. Take a break. Parvis gets a 1999. $19.99 for Parva's. We will continue again when my clock strikes 5 minutes after. Get a 5-minute break. Go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, whatever you need to do. Say hello to the wife or the hubby. Pay attention to the dog for a few minutes. Whatever it takes. We are running about on time, on schedule. I've still got a large bunch of chips to make it through. But that's okay. We got almost 2 full boxes of coins remaining so that we can make it through all of the chips. And I'm going to give you guys just a few more minutes on break. We got 8 o'clock exactly Eastern time right now. We've been on for exactly 1 hour and 40 seconds. I don't know that it was bravery as much as it was just knowing that things needed to be done for people. And, well, why not me? I can tell you that I saw more than anybody should ever have to see. Been through more than anybody should have to be through. It did contribute to the other things that happened in my life that has caused me some strain in trying to sleep for the remainder of my life. That, and I don't know how many people here are aware that I was also part of the 1988 Ramstein Air Show in Germany. Three planes from the Freccia Tricolore Italian stunt team crashed into one another, one running down the end of the runway, and the other two of them running down the end of the runway, and the other one crashing directly into the crowd in front of it. Immediately killed over 70 people. And I was instantly thrown into the position of assisting with burns. Cookie, you were at Ramstein? Really? You were there when that happened? Well, I was too. August 28, 1988, 4:31 p.m. My picture was in the Stars and Stripes the next day. I somehow ended up snapping a photograph of the planes as they were colliding in midair. I had somebody asking one time if I was taking the photograph for that reason, that I was trying to catch the possible what if. I just kind of stared at him. It's like, what do you do for somebody except give them a blank stare when they're asking you if you're trying to take a picture of a catastrophe in the making? That's right, Sissy. You're August 28, aren't you? Oh, we all have our skeletons. Certain ones of us just don't know how to stay away from them long enough to heal. But it was August 28th of 1988, so it was only really one of your birthdays, not all of them. We're on the 05 now. Going to get us started again here. Got 25 people in here. And Ron Isaac Guess the next coin in the box. Next coin in the box is a 1996. 1996 for Ron. Next up. That's right, Frostbite. You just don't heal. The healing still leaves a scar. Sometimes for the rest of your life. 1999 for Jesse. Through cognitive processing therapy, through exposure therapy, and a few other things, including medication, I've learned to cope with the fact that I lived and a lot of other people didn't. 1977 for Shay Shay. Yeah, it's one of those things that can hits really hard, and then you continue going through. Was that Shay Shay I just pulled? No. Yes. I think it was. It was Shay Shay I just pulled. This is a duplicate on Shay Shay right now. We don't generally get 3. 1960 for Shay Shay. We don't generally see 3 in a row. And we didn't this time. Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur comes up next with a 1960. I guess we all have our moments, don't we? So nobody wants to do or see these things. 1969, however, some of us just end up having to because of where we happen to be and what we happen to be doing. Cookie up next. Cookie now with a 1961. I got 2 people now working on trying to help me find a replacement computer for the computer I have now. Trying to figure out what's the best for me to get for the money. And I'm going to have to do something I hate doing, dip into my savings. Marked Money Tech, 1942S. Marked Money Tech. 1942S, silver. Congrats to Marked Money Tech, if she's here watching. Up next, Josie Fletcher. Josie, how about a 1957? I can just see her bouncing now. Oh, yay, 1957. 1957 is a pretty tough date to get. Mr. Boudreaux. Mr. Boudreaux up next with the 1975. 1975 for Mr. Boudreaux. Next up, Sissy. Sissy now. 2012. There we go. That's a tough date to get, that 2012. 2012 was a very lowly minted proof set year. Very quickly exceeding $200 in value for the 2012 proof set. They haven't come down yet. And probably won't. They're 11 years old now. Taco John, here's a 2004 piece metal nickel for Taco John. Next up, Mr. Adams. And Mr. Adams gets a 1983. But it's a 1985. So it's marked 83, and it is an 85. I've run into a couple of these so far. I guess I'm going to have to go back and check my stock of 1983s and see how many of them I need to remark. Here's Patreus Hadrakis. What is this one? It's a 2005 Bison nickel. 2005 Bison is not marked. It's only priced. Price doesn't matter here. Doug Rizek. 1961. 1961 for Doug. And we got Mr. Adams. Next week, Wednesday, I'm going to have to take off. There's a ministry in Goldsboro, North Carolina, who has a donated pool of food that they give out to the needy in the area. They need volunteers to help hand that food out, and I have volunteered to go next Wednesday and help them out. It's Wednesday afternoon, evening. Usually be back before dark, so we could do something late in the evening. We can do things during the midday also. 2009 can be a tough year, but 2009 is mostly tougher for the circulated coins. The Philadelphia and Denver Mint coins. The San Franciscos were actually minted in pretty decent quantity because a lot of people ordered them to get the 4 pennies. It's 1956 for Patrias. So I think if you look at the mintage figures, you'll find that 2009 is kind of a average minted year. Here's Wanda. Wanda gets a 1980 proof. Next up, Kevin. Back to Kevin. And Kevin gets a 1998 proof, 1998. And next up, Jordan. Whatnot will be Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday evening. So I'll have to go and do my... I have to call him and see what time he expects it to be finished and if I can help and be back home before 7. You are right about that. I may not be able to go. Darn it. And they only do it on Wednesday. There's a 2008 for Shay Shay. 2008. Now, Shay Shay has had 2 chips together already today. Let's see if he does it again. No. Ron Isaac. It's a 1998. Yeah, we will be doing a Whatnot auction Wednesday evening next week. I got to start working on getting prepared for it. Run it and see what happens, you know, how it works out. This is a 2003 for Richard. The only problems I could have are going to be technical issues because I'm not that wonderful at learning how to deal with technology, and I've never used it. So here's a 1958 for Doug. Josie. 1976. There's a 76 for Josie. That's got a little bit of toning on it. Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud gets a 2003. Now, Sissy. Ooh, 2006. Sissy gets an 06. I think it's going to be mostly Lincoln Cents. I know I have some silver half dollars. I may try a couple of silver half dollars and see how that works. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. But I'm going to be doing about 10 or 15 coins, and that's about it. Mr. Boudreaux, 2000. I'll be running a few things that I have enough of that I can offer there. Or Mr. Boudreaux again. How about that? Duped up on Mr. Boudreaux today, 2003. Next up now, let's see. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, it's a 1971. Hey, Kelly Ray. Good evening. I might do some... Yeah, I'll probably do some slabs. We'll see how that works. I've got some 66 Lincolns and 67 Lincolns. Graded 66 and graded 67. 1977 for Parvas. And next up, Jesse. What do you guys think would be best on Whatnot for my first auction on Whatnot? 1996 for Jesse. That's a semi key date. It's not a key date, by any stretch of the imagination. Here's Shay Shay again. Shay Shay this time with a 1958 proof. 1958. So they will. That ought to work out pretty well. Paul, I'm going to be doing a code. I'm going to be sending a code out to people. If they use that code to join, whatnot, they can come and get a $15 credit on my first auction. I'll have a couple of buy it now items available for $15 to $20. You use that code there, and you'll get the items $15 off. And it's going to be a way below cost thing for you. There we go, 1983. So rolls sell out, huh? I might try some rolls. We'll see how that works. I have rolls to try. Ant 2242. 1994 for Ant. We get next. Marked Money Tech. How about a 1980 Marked Money Tech? That's got some toning on it. You see the differences in color? Let's see. Kelly Ray, I hope today is not as stressful as yesterday was. I know that you had a pretty stressful day yesterday. Are we talking about just wheat rolls, Kevin Dobbs, or do they have to be BU wheat rolls? Josie, 1973 for Josie. I mean, I have BU wheat rolls. But we can talk about it tomorrow, Mickey, because I am going to have you help me put it together. 2008, Born Rebel. 2008 here. Almost done with this box. Cat Morgendollar. Cat Morgendollar now with a 1998. 1998. Oh, there we go. Another box full. And I start anew. A fresh box just for you. Well, I can do BU wheat roll. I can do a mixed BU wheat roll. I can do a solid date BU wheat roll. I can do whatever is requested of me. 1972 there for Shay Shay. There's a chip fell out the bag. All right, go back into the bag here. And got a Taco John. Taco John now. Taco John gets a 1998. 1998 proof. Unk wheat rolls averaging 50 plus. So, Kevin, would that be for solid date rolls? Would it be for put together rolls of different dates? 1996 for Kevin. Mixed BU wheat roll. Wow. Mixed BU wheat rolls? Wow. I can do mixed BU wheat rolls. I got probably a whole day's worth of auctioning those to do. 1957 for Kelly Ray. Yeah, this could make a very nice match in heaven if it turns to work out the way I'm hearing it can. 1972. 1972 now for Jim Fletcher. I still have a Florida address on the website. Which website, Patreus? Run Isaac. I got information on a lot of websites. 1969S. If you can email me a link, Patreus, I will get it changed. I will definitely get it changed. Here's Paul Hampton. Paul, 1963. 63 proof. Patreus, send that email to cd@coppercoins.com. Just copy the link and email it. Don't even have to say anything. Just give me the link and I'll get it corrected. Jordan's up next. Jordan here with a 1969 S at cd@coppercoins.com. Just send me a link, and I will get that taken care of. Techstar. I try to change everything out. It doesn't always work out that way. 2006 for Techstar. See what we got next. Penny Hoarder. He said he's going to be returning to the shows before too long. He's had to take a hiatus because of work. 1969 for Penny Hoarder. Here we go, Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur again in 1977 this time. I've been there. You can go up to your address bar and double click there until it highlights, and then hit Control and C to copy. And you can open an email, do Control V to paste, and then send the email to me, cd@coppercoins.com. Ronald, 1973 for you. Well, a mixed BU wheat roll would be a wheat roll just of BU coins that have been mixed up and placed into the tube. It wouldn't be one as issued. All BU coins as issued were all of the same date. Kelly, 1964. But I can create a roll of BU wheat cents. I've got a lot of singles that are uncirculated singles. Hey, look at there, we got a bonus. Who's going to grab a bonus? Bonus will go to Techstar. Techstar. I read you loud and clear, Mark. I've been there too. Just trust me. 1976 and 2006. There we go. 40 years apart they are. Or is that 30 years? Something like that. I'm not mathing very well today. Malcolm. 1968. 1968 for Malcolm. Marked Money Tech. Marked Money Tech now with a 1998. 1998. Now Techstar. Back to Techstar again. Ooh, Techstar gets a 1942 S silver. That's those ones with the mint mark way up above the building to show you that it's a silver coin. There we go. Nice uncirculated 1942 S silver for Techstar. Right, Mark? I know, I've been there. Trust me, bro. When my first deployment to the desert, I was sleeping in my rack, and it was late at night, and we had a Scud alert, had a missile alert. Didn't know it was Scuds, but that was the only thing they shot back then. But anyhow, we had a missile alert incoming. My supervisor the sergeant decides to come over. Hey, take a look at the toning on this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. Pretty colors. So he comes over in the middle of the night. I don't know what was going through his head. That was for Patrias, by the way. And he comes over and shakes me by the shoulders with his gas mask on to tell me to get up because I was asleep and I didn't hear the alarm. And he comes over and he shakes me. Scared the bejesus out of me. As soon as I woke up, I was swinging. 1980. Nice 1980 also. That one for Born Rebel has some nice toning on it. Here's for Wanda. Wanda next. She gets a peace medal. 2004 peace medal. Kelly. How about a 1961? 61 for Kelly. Took the clippers to a dog with fleas. Sissy. Like Petraeus, I really don't know. I do know how to do a screenshot. You could do a screenshot of the page, and I'll figure out where it is. 1976 for Sissy. A screenshot usually is volume down plus the on-off button. And then it'll blink at you telling you got a screenshot, and then you can email that screenshot to me by going into your email. Type my address, cd@coppercoins.com, and then do an attachment and go into your images and find that screenshot and attach it to the email. My little thing with swinging kind of came to a head one day. My wife tried to very gently wake me up by coming and tapping on my shoulder, and I ducked her into the wall because I was in the middle of a really mainstay nightmare at the time. Hey, there's Frosty. And Frosty, 1961 there for Frostbite. Yeah, I immediately regretted that move. I hated myself for doing that, but there was no way to avoid it, really. I was having a very rough time. Cookie, 2008. So, yeah, all it did was sting, though. I didn't actually break anything, or I didn't make her bleed or any of that. Her eyes were watering for a while. 1994, S. And so that was the day that my wife learned. And it wasn't the wife I have now. It was a former wife. She learned not to come up and shake my shoulder to wake me up. Hey, we got a bonus chip. Who gets the bonus? Ronald. Ronald gets the bonus. I think he already got a bonus today. That's pretty cool, though. He gets 2 of them now. I think he already got one. It's a 1983. Well, that's also another 1985. So 85 marked as an 83. And 1996. I'm ready for a game. We've got game chips in here still, I think. Let's see. Let me get this in here, and I'll go look at how many game chips we've got left. I think I put 4 game chips in. That means we've got 2 left. We don't have any bonus chips left. Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder now, 1961. 1961 for Penny Hoarder. Hey, I didn't look at that. I swear. I just reached in and grabbed it. So let's see who gets to play the game. I'm going to go all the way down in the very bottom corner. Oh, looky there. Mickey, you get to play the game. Mickey's first coin is a 1973. Mickey, higher or lower than 1973? You'd almost have to think that I forced this to happen, but I did not. Everything is done completely on the up and up. So Mickey 1973, higher or lower? Mickey says higher for the next one, 1973, and we go higher and get 2,000. Awesome. What about next? Higher or lower? There you go, dear. You had a bad nightmare. You had a nightmare that somebody hit you. Right? I still get chased in my nightmares. I still have issues. 2,000, he says lower. and it is 1993. Higher or lower, Mickey? Jim is here. Jim would like to announce to the room that he is here. Everyone will benefit from knowing that Jim is here. We love you too, Jim. Mickey. Lower, he says, than 1993. And his next coin is at 2005. It's a 2005 Bison. There's your pesky buffalo there. And Mickey gets, 4 coins out of his run. Not bad. Not bad for a $2 run. You're paying 50 cents for your proofs. We can do it that way. All right, we got one more game to play in here somewhere. And our next chip, Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray gets 1969. 69. Next. Womp, 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 womp. Crispy Mofo. And Crispy gets a 1977. 1977 proof. Next. Oh, I gotta get the chip out of here. Carl. Carl, 1992. 92 for Carl. Next up, Wanda. 1961 for Wanda, 1961. Let's see, Ant up next. Ant gets, come on guys, stay in place here. 1972. 72 for Ant. I see there's a hair in there. He gets it for free if I can't get it out first. Hey, it came right off. So Ant does not get a free DNA sample. Next up, yeah, see, it used to be a thing where you didn't want people to get hair in their soup or whatever because, you know, it's just gross. There's Ronald. Ronald with a 1956. Right? These days, you don't want to leave hair in your soup because somebody might get a DNA sample. They could do some weird and odd things with, like, set you up for murder or something. It's like, I don't want to spread my DNA around simply because, well, it's kind of private. Parviz, 1975. 1975 now for Parviz. And my next one is Captain Morgan Dollar. Captain Morgan Dollar gets a 1973. 1973 for Cab Morgan Dollar. Next up. Oops. I threw that one. Paul. Mr. Hampton. It's a 2006. 2006 for Mr. Hampton. Next up. Richard. Mr. Sappington pulls a 1980. 1980. And next, Ant. Most of you should have received your last proof pull already. 1985, marked as 1983. There you go. If I'm nothing, I'm consistent. Hey, Eric. Jim Fletcher now. Jim Fletcher with a 1998. 1998 for Mr. Fletcher. Now we go to Jordan. Jordan, how about a 1972? 1972 for Jordan. Next up, we have Carl. Carl now, 2005 Bison Nickel. 2005 Bison. Next up, Jordan again. 1989, one of the tough years. 89's they're kind of hard to get. by the roll. I don't know about singles or proof sets, but I know by the roll you're lucky to find any. Let's see, Captain Morgan Dollar gets a 2003. 2003 now. Next up, Ron Isaac. Ron gets a 1963. Next up, Captain Morgan Dollar. Captain Morgan Dollar gets 1958. 1958 proof. Let's see. Ant gets 1958. A couple of those in there like that, huh? Right in a row, 2 of them. The coins are very thoroughly mixed as well. Any chance that 2 dates or 2 coins of the same date would be stuck together is purely happen chance. Richard gets a 1985, marked as a 1983. Any of these that have the pin writing on them, like this, that say 1983, I'm going to say most of them are probably 1985s. I think a roll was accidentally swapped. Here's Ron Isaac. Ron Isaac will come away with a 1972. 1972. Now Sureg. 1976. 1976 for Sureg. Next up, well, Sureg again. Sureg this time, 1992. That's right, they're nice 1983-85 errors. You can show everybody that Chuck makes mistakes. Just like NGC, PCGS, or any other dealer. Paul with a 2005 Bison nickel. It's okay though. If you can get a premium for a misdated flip from me, I got a deal I can work out with you. 1996 for Josie. We kind of think that in some form or fashion that might have happened at the mint with error coins. People minting these really weird and odd error coins, and they get out and somebody had to have made them. Somebody else finds them. And sometimes we find that those people know each other. 1985 for Jesse. This one is marked as a 1985. Your Techstar. Techstar now. 1993. 1993. Next, Josie Fletcher again. Josie, 1987. 1987. Patreus. How about a 1980? 1980 for Patreus. And Kevin up next. Kevin, 2004 piece. 2004 piece for Kevin. Born Rebel. 1967 SMS. 1967 special mint set. Next up, Sureg. Sureg this time, 2007. 2007 proof. Get these back in here. There we go. Sometimes the bag needs to be reshuffled. Shay Shay. Shay Shay now with a 1962. 1962 for Shay Shay. Marked Money Tech. Marked Money Tech. Next coin in the box is a 2011. Tough year to get there. 2011. Next up, Mr. Adams. 2008. With a hair. He keeps getting the hairs. What's up with that? Maybe there's more hair in here than I imagined. Or maybe Mr. Adams' chips just draw the hair. Hey, look at this. Here's game. This will be the last one today. Who do we have for the game this time around? Well, it's Marked Money Tech. So, I know Marked Money Tech hasn't been here. Up to this point, she hasn't been here. I don't know if she happens to be listening. I'm going to guess probably not. And so, I'm going to pull her first coin. I'm going to recycle this. Jim says, I'm here. Jim's here. Jim can play. Marked Money Tech's first coin will be in 1969. Based on that, copper coins will say higher. And it is. 1992. Next one, copper coin says lower. And it's a 2005. So that's what she gets. She got 3 coins out of that. I wish she had been here to play the game herself. I'm sure she would have a lot of fun with it. But that is what we ended up with in our last round of the game for this particular show. Next up, we've got Ronald. Ronald, 1999. Next up, Marked Money Tech again. 1998. Next up, Jim, you want to play the game, don't you? You really want to play the game. Mr. Adams. It's 1994. Next up, Born Rebel. Born Rebel gets a 2006. A little toning on that one. And next, Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams pulls 1964. No hair that time. Yeah. Let's see, Richard. Richard, it's a 1983. 1983 for Richard. Next up, Mr. Boudreaux. Chip's starting to fall over on me here. Mr. Boudreaux, 1964 for Mr. Boudreaux. There's Cookie. Cookie with a 1980. Cookie with a 1980. Penny Hoarder. 2012. Tough date right there. 2012. Generally, I only have about 2 or 3 2012s in the box because they're really tough to get. Here's Cookie. 1991 for Cookie. 1991. Mr. Adams. 1995. 1995 for Mr. Adams. Ronald. 1974 for Ronald. Crispy. 2004 Keel Boat. 2004 Keel Boat Nickel. I gotta do something about this little problem I've got going on here. Let's try this and see if that will keep those things up there. Nope, I pulled that already. Here, let's get that. Kevin. 1987 for Kevin. Nice year for proofs. And Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud gets a 2005 Bison. Next up, Kelly Ray. Kelly Michaud and Kelly Ray. 2000. 2000 for Kelly Ray. She hasn't said anything in the last 5 or 10 minutes. She must have passed out face first on the floor. Poor Kelly Ray. I'll come up and rub her on the back so she can get back up. Doug Rezak, 75. 1975. Everybody who hasn't met Kelly Ray in person, she is just a bubble of energy. She's a wonderful person. Great to know. Mickey Furr, 1994. Always fun to talk with. Frostbite. Frostbite next up in 1992. 1992 for Frostbite. Next up, Kelly Ray again. Kelly Ray starting to come out at a higher pace now. 1958 here for Kelly Ray. Next up, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder gets a 1942, silver 1942S. There we go, another one of the silver coins. 1942S for Penny Hoarder. Yay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Parviz with a 1973. Parviz with a 1973. Next up, Born Rebel. 1976. 1976. Next will be Malcolm with a 2001. 2001. Oh, we're down to about 50 chips now. I don't know if we'll be able to get them all done before 9 o'clock, but I'll just keep going until we finish. 1989 for Born Rebel. Ooh, that's ugly. I'm going to pull another coin. How about a 1994 for Born Rebel? There we go. 89 and a 94 because 89 was ugly. I don't like ugly coins, especially when they're ugly proof coins. Let's see here. What's next? Frostbite. Frostbite gets a 1968 proof. First year of the S-Mint proofs. Next up, P. Adams. How about a 1970 S? 1970 S for P. Adams. Next I have Sissy. Sissy with a 1998 proof. Taco John. It's a 1960 proof. 1960. Next up, Sureg with a 1960. Now, Carl. 1977. For Carl, 1977. Frostbite. 1962, and that one actually is a bluish color. It's a really nice looking coin. It's toned. It's a toner. Mr. Adams. Year 2000 for Mr. Adams. Sissy. Sissy again, this time 1994. 1994. Here's Crispy. Crispy now. 1971. I can see it, but I can't get it out of the box. There we go. 1971 for Crispy. Next up will be Josie Fletcher. Josie gets a 1972. 1972 proof. Next up, Malcolm. Malcolm, 1973. 1973 for Malcolm. Next, Paul. Paul Hampton, 2004 Keelboat. 2004 Keelboat. Mr. Boudreau, 1998. 1998 for Mr. Boudreau. Next out, Wanda. 1979 Type 1 Field S. 1979. Next out here, Taco John. Taco John, woohoo, 1945 Philadelphia proof. That's got a big P mint mark. 1945 Philly silver nickel. That's for Taco John. Didn't he already get a silver? I think he might have already gotten a silver. I think he's got 2 silvers tonight. Kelly, 2006. That's for Kelly Michaud. Next up, hey Wanda, good evening to you. Doug gets a 1985. Doug with a 1985. Next up, Taco John. Taco John gets a 1980. 1980 for Taco John. Next up, Patreus. Patreus, 1974. 74 for Patreus. The 70s were good to you? I think the 70s were pretty okay to me. Although I was only like 12 years old when they ended. 2005, Bison. This one is for Malcolm. Next up, I guess I can get rid of this box. It's full. I'll be spending the night sorting poker chips tonight. Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray next up. Kelly Ray gets a 1999. 99. That's how they say it. 999. And 2242 gets a 1998. 998. Trying to shear a sheep on steroids with one little dog. Here's Josie. Josie Fletcher gets a 1994. 1994. Oh my gosh. Trying to shear a sheep on steroids. There you go. There's your thought projection right there. Cat Morgan, 1976 for Cat Morgan. Jim Fletcher. There we go, Jim. 1994. Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur, 2008. 2008 for Mickey Fur. Next up, Patreus. Patreus with a 1960. Now people are looking for the small date. We didn't have that in nickels. All right, let's see. Who else do we have coming up next? How about Sissy? Sissy up next with a 1997. 97 for Sissy. Tie all his legs together, then you won't be able to shave his belly, and that's where the fleas are. Next up, Jesse. 1977 for Jesse. Next up, Carl. Carl, 2000. Let me get this thing refocused a little bit. There we go. 2000 for Carl. Sometimes it gets bumped around a little bit and the focus falls a little short. I have to put it back in focus. Kevin with a 1998. It's your first time grooming these dogs? So are you grooming or are you like more or less ripping them apart? Kelly, 1984. 1984. Next up, Ant. Ant with a 1976. 1976 for Ant. Next up, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder, 1999. 1999 for Penny Hoarder. Shaving them apart, right? Hey, young lady, are you shaving that dog or are you molesting that dog? Cookie. And the dog's like, what the hell did I do wrong? 1997 for Cookie, and this one's got some toning. You can see the color differences. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, Sherm's around somewhere. I just heard him bark a minute ago. Maybe that was what you were hearing. Doug. Doug with a 1962. 62 for Doug. Certain things that dogs just don't understand about our world. We see it as being, well, quite plain and clear, but the dog just gets very confused. 1994 for Kelly Michaud. Ron Isaac now. Ron, how about a 1974? Ron for 1974 next up. Oh, we got Ron again. Ron for a 2002. 2002. Next up, Jesse. 1961. 61 for Jesse. We are running down in the number of chips. We've only got about a dozen left. There's some chance we could almost get finished by 9 p.m. Richard with a 1961. It's nice when I can run a show like this so cleanly and so clearly and so perfectly. Yes, that I can get it done right on a button of time. All right, 1994. 1994 for Ant. Penny Hoarder. 1956 for Penny Hoarder. Frostbite's up next. Frostbite with a scarce 1986. Just not easy to find. I'm not really sure why either, but they are. Taco John, 2007 now for Taco John. Next up, Jim Fletcher. Here you go, Jim. Are we too late? 1978. 78 for Mr. Jim. You don't mess around with Jim. Jordan. 2007. 2007 for Jordan. Now. Kelly, Ray. I always want to do that. 1999. That's when I was younger. That's what I wanted to hear. Right? Batting. Fifth. Outfielder. Chuck. Daughtrey. The crowd goes wild as he steps up to the bat, takes a strike. Pitcher winds up again. Got a left-handed pitcher against a right-handed batter. Wanda, 1960. And the second pitch, home run. Too bad he only had 2 people on base. Wanda again, a 1961. What did we get last time? Was that a 1960 or a 61? It's 1960 last time. The 61 this time. And we are at 2100 on the dot. And I got about a half dozen more chippies to go. Let's see who's next. Richard. Mr. Sappington. Richard gets a 1976. And then we'll get Wanda again. Wanda, I think you're going to get all yours here toward the end. Wanda, 1968. Up next, Josie. Josie Fletcher. 2005 for Josie. 2005. And we get Wanda again. Ooh, looky there. 1945 Philadelphia. 1945 for Wanda. There you go. That's a very good year. It's the year World War II ended, but I know that you weren't talking about that coin because you haven't seen that one yet. We're down to, what do we got? 2 chips. 2 chips left. First one, Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray. How about a 1980? 1980S for Kelly Ray. And last but not least, Frostbite. You knew that would happen. You knew it would. 1970. 1970S. And that, folks, is the end of the proof pull. That's all we got. Just about straight on the dot. 2 hours worth of programming. Fun for you. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We're going to keep doing these. Back when I did my first one, I had gotten a box of proof nickels, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? So I decided just to wrap them all up and do a poker chip draw. And I thought, well, this will work, right? And I thought the day I was going to do it, I thought, yeah, it may not be that great of a thing. This is probably the only time I'll ever do it. And we've only done it 18 times now, with a number of proofs from a number of different years. We've also done BU wheat cent pulls. We might do that next time. We kind of alternate between BU wheat cents, proof Lincoln cents, and proof Jefferson nickels. I've never had enough interest in the dimes and the quarters. We did a quarter pull one time, but I don't think it worked out as well as I had hoped it would. All right, folks. Well, that's it. I have to sort out over 300 poker chips now. Yay, fun. Everybody likes this part of the job. And Mickey, we'll see you in the AM. For everybody else regarding any of the reveal shows, I was supposed to do reveal shows today, had technical difficulties with my computer, and was unable to find the time to do any reveal shows today. Tomorrow, we will be working on packing up everything, trying to get everything ready to go out. So my next reveal show will be on Friday. Friday will be my next reveal. So I will see you guys then. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you later. Be well.